Dukh Ka Adhikaar, written by Yashpaal and taken from Sparsh Part 1, Grade 9 textbook. Yes, children, this is a lesson I'm going to explain today, and I request that all of you just open your textbooks and follow the lesson or try to understand it as I'm explaining it. I'll be explaining the sentences, the difficult words. So if you keep on marking it in your, the meanings, if you're writing it in your textbook, it's definitely going to help you a lot in the long run. मनुष्यों की पोशाकें उन्हें विभिन्न श्रेणियों में बांट देती है. The dress that we people wear, it definitely segregates or separates us into different grades. Children, here पोशाकें means the dress that we wear, श्रेणियां means grades. प्राय पोशाक ही समाज में मनुष्य का अधिकार और उसका दर्जा निश्चित करती है. Normally it is the dress which decides the rights of a person and his or her status or position in the society. Children, you might have observed when we go to big 5-star hotels and all, we wear different kinds of dress. Whereas if we go to some other marriage occasions and all, we wear different kinds of dress, right? So dress has a very important role to play in deciding certain rights and in deciding a person's position in the society. That is what author Yashpaal says here. Here, children, samaj means society, adhikar means rights, darja means position or status in the society, nishchit means it decides. वह हमारे लिए अनेक बंद दरवाजे खोल देती है. Our dress, it opens many closed doors for us. परंतु कभी ऐसी भी परिस्थिति आ जाती है कि हम जरा नीचे झुककर समाज की निचली श्रेणियों की अनुभूति को समझना चाहते हैं. But at times it so happens that even if we have worn very good dress and if we belong to the higher status society, we do come across certain situations where we feel as if we should bend down and try to understand the feelings of the people of the lower grades of the society. So here the author talks about a situation which he had faced where he had worn very good dress, and because of his dress he was not able to bend down to understand the feelings of someone who was really suffering. उस समय यह पोशाक ही बंधन और अड़चन बन जाती है. At that time our dress itself becomes a bond and an obstacle. Here bandhan means bond and अड़चन means obstacle. जैसे वायु की लहरें कटी हुई पतंग को सहसा भूमि पर नहीं गिर जाने देती, उसी तरह खास परिस्थितियों में हमारी पोशाक हमें झुक सकने से रोके रहती है. Now author Yashpaal says that just like the waves of the wind does not let a kite which has been cut to fall on the ground at one go or suddenly, similarly, just because we have worn very good dress sometimes stops us from bending down to understand the feelings of the lower grade people. So he describes such a situation in the coming slides. Here patang means kite, sahasa means suddenly. Vayu ki lehre means the waves of the wind. Vayu means wind. Poshak here, children, means costume or the dress. Adchan means obstacle. Vibhin different. Bandhan bond and lehre waves. बाजार में फुटपाथ पर कुछ खरबूजे डलिया में और कुछ जमीन पर बिक्री के लिए रखे जान पड़ते थे. In the market, there were few watermelons which were kept in the basket on the footpath, and few of them were kept on the ground, and it was looking as if they were for sale. Kharbuje means watermelon, Daliya means basket, and Bikri ke liye means for sale. खरबूजों के समीप एक अधेड़ उम्र की औरत बैठी रो रही थी. And near those watermelons, a middle-aged woman was sitting and she was literally crying. अधेड़ उम्र means middle age. खरबूजे बिक्री के लिए थे, परंतु उन्हें खरीदने के लिए कोई कैसे आगे बढ़ता? These watermelons were meant for sale, but how could anyone come forward to buy them? Now, what was the reason? Why people were not coming to buy those watermelons? That is the answer that is coming next. खरबूजों को बेचने वाली तो कपड़े से मुंह छिपाए, सिर को घुटनों पर रखे, फफक फफक कर रो रही थी. Now the author tells the reason why nobody was coming forward to buy these watermelons. Because the lady, the middle-aged woman who was selling the watermelons, she had hidden her face in her cloth and she had put her head on her knees and she was literally sitting and crying. Here children, ghutne means knees. Now these words, they contain the meanings, English meanings of difficult words. I'm not explaining them because while explaining the paragraph, I'm already doing it. So you can just go through them, children. पड़ोस की दुकानों के तख्तों पर बैठे या बाजार में खड़े लोग घृणा से उसी स्त्री के संबंध में बात कर रहे थे. Now people who were sitting on benches of nearby shops and some others who were standing in the market, they were all talking about this lady with hatred. Pados means nearby. Dukan means shop. Takhtoon par means wooden, those benches. Ghrina se means with hatred. उस स्त्री का रोना देखकर मन में एक व्यथा सी उठी, पर उसके रोने का कारण जानने का उपाय क्या था? Now when the author saw that lady crying, a sort of pain arose in his heart and he was thinking of a way out as to how he can ask the reason for her crying. Vyatha si uthi means a pain arose in his heart. Upay means way out, an idea as to find out why she was crying. फुटपाथ पर उसके समीप बैठ सकने में मेरी पोशाक ही व्यवधान बन खड़ी हो गई. Now the author says the kind of dress that he was wearing, that itself became an obstacle. With that dress, he was looking of a person as if he's a person from a very high status. With that, he was feeling a bit hesitant to sit near that lady and to ask her the reason for her crying. Sameep means nearby. Vyavadhan means obstacle. एक आदमी ने घृणा से एक तरफ थूकते हुए कहा, क्या जमाना है? One person, he just spat towards one side with hatred and he commented, what a time it is. क्या जमाना है means what a time it is. जवान लड़के को मरे पूरा दिन नहीं बीता और यह बेहया दुकान लगा के बैठी है. The young son of that particular lady had died and it was not even one full day, and this shameless lady, she has opened her shop already, even though it's hardly one day since her young son had died. Here behaya means shameless. दूसरे साहब अपनी दाढ़ी खुजाते हुए कह रहे थे, अरे जैसी नीयत होती है अल्लाह भी वैसी ही बरकत देता है. Now another person commented while he was itching his beard and he said, whatever is one's intention, same God also blesses them accordingly. Here children, dadi means beard, khujate hue means by scratching. Jaisi niyat hoti hai, however it is one's intention, Allah God वैसी ही बरकत देता है. He blesses that person accordingly. सामने के फुटपाथ पर खड़े एक आदमी ने दिया सिलाई की तीली से कान खुजाते हुए कहा. Now there was a person standing in front on the footpath and while itching his ear with a matchstick, he said, children, here diya silai ki तीली means matchstick. कान खुजाते हुए means while itching his ears. अरे इन लोगों का क्या है? ये कमीने लोग रोटी के टुकड़े पर जान देते हैं. Now he uses a slang, a bad language for them, and he says these bad people, for them a piece of food or chapati is everything. For a piece of chapati, they will give up their life. Kamine log means it's a bad language which we should not be using. It's like, a slang which should not be used in our daily life. But people, because she is so poor, that middle-aged lady is so helpless, they are able to say anything for her. इनके लिए बेटा बेटी खसम लुगाई धर्म ईमान सब रोटी का टुकड़ा है. And that person commented, for these people, son and daughter, khasam means husband, lugai means wife, dharm, religion, iman means honesty. Everything is piece of chapati. So this lady, even though her son hardly died one day back, she has come and she has opened the shop. So this means that for food, they do anything. Now children, here, none of them are trying to understand why a mother has come and opened the shop just after one day of her son's death. There should be a reason, right? But people, instead of finding out the reason, they are just commenting on that helpless middle-aged woman. I hope children you understood. Khasam lugai means husband and wife. Dharm, religion. Iman means honesty. परचून की दुकान पर बैठे लाला जी ने कहा. लाला जी who was sitting in the grocery shop. परचून की दुकान means in the grocery shop. He said, अरे भाई, उनके लिए मरे जिए का कोई मतलब ना हो. For them, maybe there is no meaning in death or life. पर दूसरे के धर्म ईमान का तो ख्याल करना चाहिए. But they should be bothered about another person's faith and religion, isn't it? Here dharm means religion, iman means faith. जवान बेटे के मरने पर 13 दिन का सूतक होता है और वह यहाँ सड़क पर बाजार में आकर खरबूजे बेचने बैठ गई है. Now this Lalaji, this person who was sitting in the grocery shop is telling that after a person's son dies, for 13 days in their house, there is this tradition called sutak, where you are not supposed to go to temples, not supposed to come out of the house, meet people or do any trade and all. And he says that this lady, just after one day, she has come to the market and on the road, she is selling her watermelons. हजार आदमी आते जाते हैं. Thousands of people keep coming and going. क्या कोई जानता है कि इसके घर में सूतक है? Does anyone know that in her house there is sutak, or this tradition has to be followed, that for 13 days they should not touch anyone or sell their things in the market? कोई इसके खरबूजे खा ले तो उसका ईमान धर्म कैसे रहेगा? If someone buys watermelons from her and eats them, how will their faith or religion be safeguarded? Iman means faith, dharm means religion. क्या अंधेर है? What a darkness it is. पास पड़ोस की दुकानों से पूछने पर पता लगा उसका 23 बरस का जवान लड़का था. When the author, he asked nearby shops, he came to know that this lady had a 23-year-old young boy. 23 means 23, बरस means years. घर में उसकी बहू और पोता पोती है. In her house, she had her daughter-in-law and her grandson and granddaughter. Bahu means daughter-in-law, pota means grandson and poti means granddaughter. लड़का शहर के पास 1.5 बीघा भर जमीन में कचियारी करके परिवार का निर्वाह करता था. Now this boy used to grow vegetables near the city in 1.5 बीघाs of land, and thus used to take care of his family. 1.5 बीघा means 1.5 बीघाs. It's a measurement of the land. Kachiyari means growing vegetables. निर्वाह करता था means he used to take care. खरबूजों की डलियां बाजार में पहुंचाकर कभी लड़का स्वयं सौदे के पास बैठ जाता, कभी मां बैठ जाती. Now they would take the basket of watermelons to the market, and at times boy himself would sit there to sell it, or otherwise his mother would sit there to sell the watermelons. Dalia means basket, and here sauda means trading, to sell. लड़का परसों सुबह मुंह अंधेरे बेलों में से पके खरबूजे चुन रहा था. Now this boy, he was selecting ripe watermelons from the field early morning, one day back. मुँह अंधेरे means early morning. गीली मेड की तरावट में विश्राम करते हुए एक शाम पर लड़के का पैर पड़ गया. Now, here maid means the boundary between two fields. Taravat means the wet, marshy land which becomes wet because of the dewdrops. Now, there was a snake which was taking rest in that wetness of the dewdrops. And that snake, it just bit the boy. लड़के की बुढ़िया माँ बावली होकर ओझा को बुला लाई. As soon as the mother saw that her son has been bitten by the snake, she became mad or crazy and she ran and called the Oja. Now, Oja is a person, he tries to cure people's diseases or their problems by doing some kind of superstitious things. Now, here Bavli means crazy and Oja means exorcist or a person who tries to cure people by old traditional superstitious methods. Jhadna funkna hua. Now what the Oja does is jhadna funkna. He will hit the person with some kind of a small broom. Funkna means he'll blow air on that person, or he uses fire and he tries to cure that person. That is known as jhadna funkna. Nag Dev ki puja hui and they worshipped snake god. Nag Dev means snake god. Puja ke liye दान दक्षिणा चाहिए. Now, in order to do this worshipping, even दान दक्षिणा has to be done. That is, donations have to be given. दान दक्षिणा means donations. घर में जो कुछ आटा और अनाज था, दान दक्षिणा में उठ गया. Whatever, flour and grains were there at home, everything they spent on charity and or donation. माँ, बहू और बच्चे भगवाना से लिपट लिपट कर रोए. Mother, the daughter-in-law and the children, they hugged Bhagwana. That is that old lady's son. His name was Bhagwana. They hugged him and they kept on crying. Lipat lipat kar means crying by hugging Bhagwana. पर भगवाना जो एक दफे चुप हुआ तो फिर न बोला. But Bhagwana, once he became quiet, he never spoke. What the author means to say is that he never woke up. He died. He passed away. Ek dafa means one time. Chup hua means when he became quiet. सर्प के विष से उसका सब बदन काला पड़ गया था. His entire body had become black because of the poison of the snake. Here, sarp means snake and vish means poison. Now this shows children that we should never believe in those kinds of magic and all. Nowadays the medical science has developed so much that anybody can be saved by giving immediate medical treatment. But then in villages and all, people still follow such superstitious beliefs, and because of that they have a lot of loss. Here they not only lost all the ration that they had, that is the flour, the grains that was there at home, they had to pay the oja also, and not only that, they even lost their only breadwinner. जिंदा आदमी नंगा भी रह सकता है, परंतु मुर्दे को नंगा कैसे विदा किया जाए? Now a person who's alive, he can stay without a dress. But as per the beliefs, how can we, send away a dead person without any clothes? Here, murda means a dead person. Vida kiya jaye means to send him away. We have to cremate him. उसके लिए तो बजाज की दुकान से नया कपड़ा लाना ही होगा. And for that dead person, new cloth had to be bought from the shop of Bajaj. Maybe Bajaj was the name of the cloth shop. चाहे उसके लिए माँ के हाथों के छन्नी कखना ही क्यों न बिक जाए. It doesn't matter, even if for that the little bit jewelry that the mother had, she had to even sell off that in order to buy new cloth for the dead body of her son. Here children, Channi Kakna means jewelry. Here these are the word meanings. Bhagwana Parlok Chala Gaya. Now Bhagwana, that is the old woman's son, he went away to another world. Parlok means another world. घर में जो कुछ चूनी भूसी थी सो उसे विदा करने में चली गई. Whatever things they had at home that they had to use so as to send him away to or for doing his last rites. बाप नहीं रहा तो क्या, लड़के सुबह उठते ही भूख से बिलबिलाने लगे. But even if father was not there, the children, when they got up in the morning, they started crying because of hunger. Bhook se means with hunger. Bilbilane lage means they started crying because they had not eaten anything. Everything that was at home, it was used up or spent to do the last rites of the son. दादी ने उन्हें खाने के लिए खरबूजे दे दिए. So the grandma gave them watermelons to eat because they were crying with hunger. लेकिन बहू को क्या देती? But what would she give to the daughter-in-law? Bahu here children means daughter-in-law. बहू का बदन बुखार से तवे की तरह तप रहा था. She was suffering from fever and high fever. बदन means body. बुखार से means with fever. तवे की तरह means just like a tawa. Tawa is the that flat vessel on which we cook chapatis. So it's extremely hot, right? Only then we can cook chapatis on it. So her body was also almost burning with fever. अब बेटे के बिना बुढ़िया को दुवन्नी चवन्नी भी कौन उधार देता? Now even her son had passed away, so there would be no one to give her even some little loan also, a small loan also, because they won't be sure whether she'll be able to return it also or not. Duvanni and Chavanni means they're all small, changes of money. Like we can say paise. These terms were used long back. Nowadays we don't use all these terms because we are all using higher denominations of money. Udhar means loan. बुढ़िया रोते रोते और आंखें पोंछते पोंछते भगवाना के बटोरे हुए खरबूजे डलिया में समेटकर बाजार की ओर चली और चाराय भी क्या था. Now this old lady, she kept on crying, and by wiping her eyes, she collected all those ripe watermelons that Bhagwana had collected from the field, and she went towards the market to sell them. Or chara bhi kya tha means she had no other option. Here or chara bhi kya tha means there was no other option. कल जिसका बेटा चल बसा आज वह बाजार में सौदा बेचने चली है, हाय रे पत्थर दे. Now here it's a irony, like the person whose son just died one day before, today she is going to the market to sell her products. What a stone-hearted person. It's used as an irony here. Actually, the reality of the lady's life is so sad that anyone in her place would do the same thing. उस पुत्र वियोगिनी के दुख का अंदाजा लगाने के लिए पिछले साल अपने पड़ोस में पुत्र की मृत्यु से दुखी माता की बात सोचने लगा. Now here the author Yashpaal, he started thinking about another mother in his neighborhood who had lost her son the last year. He did this in order to measure or guess the depth of the sorrow or sadness that this old lady who had lost her son a day before was feeling. Here, Putra Viyogini means a mother who has lost her son. Andaza lagane ke liye means in order to guess. वह संभ्रांत महिला पुत्र की मृत्यु के बाद 2.5 मास तक पलंग से उठ न सकी थी. That affluent lady, could not get up from her bed even 2.5 months after the death of her son. Here, Sambhrant Mahila means affluent lady, Adhai means 2.5, Mas means months, Palang se from the bed. He is comparing the situation of the old lady and the affluent lady. Both were in the same situation. But in one case, the lady was able not to get up from her bed for 2.5 months. But in the other case, the old lady, because of her family circumstances, was forced to come to the market to sell her products just the next day of her son's death. उन्हें 15-15 मिनट बाद पुत्र वियोग से मूर्छा आ जाती थी. Now this affluent lady used to fall unconscious every 15 minutes because of having lost her son. मूर्छा means unconscious. और मूर्छा न आने की अवस्था में आंखों से आंसू न रुक सकते थे. And if she was not unconscious, she would continuously cry. दो डॉक्टर हर दम सिरहाने बैठे रहते थे. Continuously 2 doctors were available to take care of her. Sirhane means next to her pillow. What the author means to say that they were always available to take care of that old lady. हर दम सिर पर बर्फ रखी जाती थी and always ice used to be kept on her forehead to keep her temperature down. शहर भर के लोगों के मन उस पुत्र शोक से द्रवित हो उठे थे. Seeing this, all the people in the city had felt too much sympathetic towards her. All their hearts had really melted having seen this situation of this affluent lady. Putra shok se means having lost her son. Dravit ho uthe the means their hearts have melted. That is, they all felt sympathetic towards her. जब मन को सूझ का रास्ता नहीं मिलता तो बेचैनी से कदम तेज हो जाते हैं. When one does not understand, when one's mind does not understand what to do, तो बेचैनी से, so because of that feeling of restlessness, the steps become fast. Now here the author is talking about himself. He was not able to understand what he should be doing in such a circumstance. He was not able to talk to that lady because of his dress. He used to look as if he's from a very high society. And his dress was stopping him from, even talking to that old lady, even though he wanted to help her, even though he knew that she was in a very bad situation. उसी हालत में नाक ऊपर उठाए राह चलतों से ठोकरें खाता मैं चला जा रहा था. He was so much absorbed in this situation that he just lifted his nose up. He was just looking nowhere. And he was going on, knocking the people. He was being knocked upon by the people who were coming opposite to him on the path or on his path. Rah means path. Thokren khata means being knocked by them because he was just walking without any senses. सोच रहा था, the author was thinking, शोक करने, गम मनाने के लिए भी सहूलियत चाहिए. The author was thinking of the condition of the two mothers, one from a very low grade in the society, the other one from an affluent family. One person is able to lie down on the cot for 2.5 months being sad about her son's loss. The other lady just the next day has to come to the market to sell her products so that she can take care of her grandchildren and her daughter-in-law. So he felt, okay, now this shows the fact that even, if you want to feel sad, for that also you need facilities. You need a circumstance where you can, be in sorrow for a long period of time. I hope children you are able to understand what the author means to say. दुखी होने का भी एक अधिकार होता है. Now in the end the author has linked it to the title of the lesson, which is दुखी होने का अधिकार. Here he means to say that even if you want to be sad for a long period of time, even for that you need facility, you need rights. I hope children you understood the lesson. In case of any doubts, do let me know, and please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. to keep me motivated. Take care and stay safe.